My name is Steve Odongo. My sign name, this. So I was born hearing. Then, afterwards, through my primary education, I was hearing, and I became deaf 2004 when I was 13 years old. So that is the time. At that time I was in class 8. I became sick. It was a bit like malaria. Then went to hospital. Then never saw anything. Later on, found out that I had bacterial fungitis. So with this, it was on Tuesday I slept very well. On Wednesday I woke up really deaf. Okay, so I really felt confused because I'm from one world, born hearing. This was my state. Now everything changed. So number one, I felt really confused, and why people asking me, because my friends are just still the same, and I'm the only one who is really different. So I felt like very lonely, because why not him? Why not my friend? Why do you choose me? So it really took time. It took time. As time went by, I felt like lost. My all hope was gone, and now I was deaf. I don't know what to do. Maybe I thought my life is finished. So it really took a longer time to really become a person again and to really feel myself again. So it took very, very long. It really took a very long time to accept myself. Not very easy, but I really tried very much to change from being a person who's hearing to deaf, and also any other thing to also stay just the same. Okay, so in the beginning, I was very, very sick for about like 3 months, still in hospital, till when I became deaf. So also I was paralyzed on one side. I was not able to walk. So after finishing my hospital journey, I went back to home. Like after 3 days, I went to do an exam, KCPE. After the exam, now I changed. Now, luckily enough, because my parents were always there, both father and my both parents, so they really supported me. I really understood when things changed, and even both of them also changed to become even the best. We had a really good relationship. I really tried. We did not go even for other attachment. I stayed at home, had conversation, talked with them, and the most important thing is I really much continued the same way like before. They never changed. They never changed their perspective on me, and everything was really continuing as it were before. Even the communication is the only thing that changed, but they really supported me. My family was really much supportive, and everything stayed like before. For me, I can communicate. I can speak normally. I can speak English, Kiswahili, Luo. All of them I really know. So for me, if I want to know something, I will ask you directly because I can voice directly. But now the challenge is whenever you ask me something, it becomes hard at first. You can't ask me because the communication is not there. I'm not able. But I was getting assistance from my father. My father was really a fast speaker, and he was not like communicating slowly. But communicating with my mother was really much easy. But it really took time. Things took time, one by one, one by one. So things are now becoming easy to understand. When things are very hard, we are using the books to write, or even write down on the soil. I'm a graduate from Kenyatta University. I'm also planning to also do education. Oh no, I entered KU. At that time there was no interpreter. Even they were not aware. There was not any other deaf student there. So I was like alone. So I started asking if they can be able to give me an interpreter. Then they said they didn't plan for it. So I stayed in the university, learned through reading in the library, and even taking some copies from some friends, copying the notes, seeing what they're writing, copying that and everything. Even the lecturers were very good. Sometimes he could also give me the notes. Sometimes he could email me. I could be able to read them, and it really assisted me. But for interpreter, no. All the 4 years, I never used an interpreter in KU. So it is really hard to really do without an interpreter because communication is not really much clear. So if they are able to pay for an interpreter, to have one, to really have easy communication. Remember, like KU, sometimes whenever I go to a class, whenever I enter a class, we find people having cut. There's a cut. I was not really much aware. The lecturer didn't tell me, or maybe it was announced in the group. Maybe I went to work alone, but people were really working in a group. So for me, if they are able to pay for an interpreter, I could really have one and really do my master's well. When I was in KU, at that time I was really much advocating for the disability, a lot. So I really entered the office, really requesting for interpreter. Then I was in the 4th year, I was about to finish. Then they agreed to employ an interpreter. But I didn't benefit from that because at that time I was finishing. So I really know right now there's an interpreter in KU. So I really do also believe that after they're advocating, I will advocate in other offices and schools to really provide interpreters to really make communication easy. This will make our work also very easy to have clear communications. So sometimes you may ask a question. Like one time I remember a lecturer asked me a question in class. People looking at me. I was looking at him like, what? You pointed at me. Then I could not be able to answer. So the best thing is to do what? I told him to just write on the board. Then I'll be able to answer. Then after writing, he asked me, can you be able to answer? Then I said, yes, I can answer. Then can we be able to hear you? So all schools should also employ interpreters for easy accessibility. For now, I have a scholarship and I really want to go and educate about international development. Yes, so for this offer, I'm heading to really see on that and also do a follow-up on that area. So especially for partnerships, to really learn how to partner with different groups. Yes, with other people, it can really help. If they really want to support other deaf people, really see how we can be able to get partners. Yes, I'm married. I have a wife, yes. I have one daughter, 2 years old. She's young. Right now, children are learning. It's a process for them to learn. They're now learning to speak. I cannot teach how to do sign language. It will be really a challenge. She knows some bit of signs, like to say goodbye or say good. She understands good, or to keep them up. She's learning slowly and slowly, and she's also understanding that also I'm deaf. So she knows the difference between me and her mother. We're not the same. For example, if she sits behind me and she starts to cry, she'll make sure she'll come in front of me. But if my wife is around, she'll wait for someone to come and pick her. But if I'm with her, she'll come in front of me, cry in front of me, so that I can be able to. My employment status, I'm teaching TSC at Nakuru Deaf School. Teaching deaf children are really a challenge. It's a very big challenge. Most of the time, you can be able to also understand. Our understanding level is limited. The understanding also level is really low. Whenever you teach a student, when you ask, she says, yes, I understand. But whenever you ask questions, and also when you give them exams, they do like nothing. That really becomes like discouraging for even many other teachers. Whenever you teach, then when you give an exam, then you get 0 scores. A lot of many teachers become discouraged. So the biggest challenge for the deaf education right now is that whenever you enter, they access school very late, and even children, they also grow in process stages. So when you look at the deaf primary schools, most of them come to schools whenever they're maybe 8 years, 10 years. At this time, starting to learn ABC, that is not good. It's really hard. So for example, for my daughter who's hearing, she did not go to school, but she knew already ABC. She knows the names of things. When I tell her, go bring me my phone, go bring me a cup, go bring me water, she'll be able to, she'll understand. And she's 2.5 years old. So whenever a deaf person comes to school at 8 or 10 years, does not know anything, ABC, name, no, they really know nothing. It really becomes hard to train them because even their brains are blocked. Whenever you start to teach a person at that level, start teaching that person ABC, even you become mentally tired. So teaching the basic things. So the best way is to really have the deaf children to school very early. They come in early, start learning like normal children, and also have the levels. It will be really easy for them. And if you bring them to school whenever they're 15 years, that is really impossible. Last time when I worked for a deaf aid, there's a program where they're taking children from home, bringing them to school, and taking them back home. So now the children were coming to school at the age of 4, 2, 3. It was very easy to teach them because they really understand very fast. They also know how to do the science at an early age. So if this could be happening to all the deaf schools, we can get like an improvement and bring the children very early. I really think that like the problems are just the same. Okay, so number one, parents, they really are not aware. Some of the parents don't know where the schools are. Whenever my child becomes deaf, even my father did not know like where the schools were. So my father traveled back here to Nairobi to really look for the schools. Then he was told that the schools, even there's one school like located at my home, Migori. So even some of the parents don't know where the schools are located at. So these parents are also not aware. And also whenever most parents who have given birth at the villages, most of them don't know. So most parents also fear because most of the deaf schools are boarding schools. So whenever my child grows at 2 years old, can I take this child to boarding? So even the parents feel afraid. The child grows for years. Whenever years goes by, the child is also growing. Whenever he's big, taking them to school, but the child is now not having the passion to learn. Even the basic, foundation for education, they should also be really much motivated to learn, to know things. But now, whenever they are 9, 10, 11 years old, even the passion is not there. They don't have even the passion even after being born. That's why you also see like deaf schools saying, it's okay, I don't really want it. They don't have any worries. Whenever you give them exams, it's 0, 0, 0. Whenever you ask them like, are you stressful about this, they say no. So the passion comes in starting at a very young age. So taking to the children's not at an early age, that also, even the deaf person whenever goes to school at an older age, they feel like they don't have the passion. For example, whenever you say having other children who are not deaf, taking them to school, and leaving this deaf person at home, also they feel like oppressing them. So even in future, they say like, this hearing child will be able to help me. Maybe this deaf person cannot be able to help me. They stay home for a very long time. Maybe let's say whenever they pay the school fees, after paying for the school fees for the hearing, then later on you find like the deaf person, is not going to school. And also most of them are not taken to school very early. Even whenever they open schools at January, children coming to school even in February. Even some are admitted in January. Some Form 1 are brought in Term 2. So that is where we see they are more serious about the children's education. So I really think that we really need to address that, and also make sure that the deaf children go to school at an early age. If they come in an early age, they'll start learning normally and also to make an improvement. So school is okay, but it really needs a lot of work and also support, especially from the government. Some of the schools, as you've seen, like the units, the challenges is that they waste like the time of the learners. For example, whenever the government places 1 or 2 teachers, how many children do we have? Maybe 10, okay? But remember, 10 children have different levels. We have maybe baby class 1, 2, 3, moving forward, until 8. So right now, a teacher, 2 teachers, the 2 teachers need to teach class 8, from 4 to 8. Maybe baby class to 1, to class 1 or class 4, 1. Or they decide to combine all the classes together. So they teach them all together. Now, teaching the class 8 at the same time teaching class 1, that is like wasting. But if they get enough support, enough teachers, enough resources, even the school units can really work very well. Even for the deaf people can be able to access, and also they can learn with enough support. Even in colleges, we do the same. Even in universities, we also do the same for the primary schools and also for the high schools. Deaf children have a lot of gifts, a lot. Good and the varieties of gifts that they get, but how to take care of them, nurture them, grow them. Also try to coach them, teach them, especially number 1. Many people believe that talent is just enough, like the gift is enough, but I don't feel like that is enough, because they need to have discipline. If they don't have discipline, their talent is wasted. That is number 1 that I really need to teach children. They should be disciplined. It really needs, a person who's disciplined is better than a person who is really much talented. So teach discipline, and with the discipline, teach them how to manage their talent, and also show that they're able to manage it. And also for other older students, they say like, the government funded me a lot of money whenever I flew out. And also I'm happy for them to really much, succeed, but really need to grow in different ways. Expand, activities like sports, like other small schools, they have little things. For example, they don't have rugby, they don't have football for, ladies or for the girls. They really need to do inclusion for them to also participate in or experience in different areas. Like other schools focus on sports, more, and also other do music, dancing, doing the poems. That could also be able to assist. And also some can say, I cannot go to do sports. Maybe I can do dancing, do the songs, and expand. That really can help in schools. And also supporting schools. Whenever the schools have, you find like the schools don't have balls, they don't have like training areas. So we really need to have enough support. Give the school like almost everything, like give them the support like the hearing, give them professional coaches, employ professional coaches from outside. Like for saying, like for me, I'm just like assisting them, but I'm not really much professional. But better bring a professional coach, professional dancer to train, but a person who is really much motivated. Me, I'm just helping some few earlier areas. So that is also a challenge. So we really need to address that. Like the schools need capital or money, resources. Sports is really much expensive. It's not that cheap. For example, doing a training for dance, poems, we don't have money. They cannot be able to travel to the nationals. So, checking on the expense, you just feel discouraged. Even the teachers feel discouraged. After doing the training, money is not there. So we also really need the government to support, in the class, do the partnership. We also with different organizations. It will really help the schools, support the schools, and also give them, the balls, small money to really support the students with really much, activities. Also having free access to really join other, platforms, and that can really, really do well. I want to tell them that there's no luck. Most of the deaf people believe in luck. Whenever you do something, they say that you are lucky. So I do also believe that it's work. A person to go to do work, to really work hard, to really achieve something. If you do believe in luck, you say that person is really lucky, that will not help you, or you will not be able to achieve anyone. So my advice is, whenever you see anything that you want, go do it. Work hard to achieve it. Being deaf does not, block you to do anything, does not stop you to do anything. So many times whenever you go to universities, you're gonna say that, people say that like you cannot be able to go to university, how can you be able to learn? So you must come and try. Whenever you fail, it's okay, but you must come and try. You can do well. You can, no support, no interpreter. You can also be able to pass even than the other hearing people. So you must really work. What you really do is really much important. Don't think and say this is impossible, then it will become impossible. So when you think you can do it, then it becomes very easy to do. So right now we have a really big problem, especially on schools, like girls' schools, pregnancies in schools. I've been in school like for like 6 years. I've seen like over 15 girls being pregnant. Some repeating classes, not once. Some also, repeating, like the art of the situation of being pregnant. So, no good education is really offered to them. So most families, parents, they're the first teachers to their children. Teach them about sexual reproductive health. Like also CBD. Also, for example, like I was like at a 7-year-old, I was really knowing everything about sexual reproductive health, but other children did not know about it. So they believe like nothing. So whenever you ask a girl, like, how do you become pregnant? They say no. Other boys says, it's not possible. So what really happens is whenever you see them, some lack information. Anytime you try to include sexual, reproductive health education in their curriculum, some advisors says that you're teaching the children evil acts. This is not evil. We're teaching children the right things. So we're teaching them so that they can be able to make right decisions. You cannot hide them. You cannot just tell them just to continue, and also pretend like they don't know about sex, but they really know. So most of them in the offices, we also do funny ones. More students do more sex than even teachers. Even in school, we have two groups of people. We have one parents who don't want to hear like any anything like doing like teaching the children about sex. They think like you're teaching them an evil thing. Teaching them about sex is an evil thing. So we really need to introduce them to also about sex, and they really need to know that their children really need to be aware. But they feel like whenever you teach them, it's like encouraging them. The second group, who are parents who are really much happy to really hear about that. Like whenever you teach, like for example in Kamboi, yeah, so both of them were suspended for 2 weeks whenever they came back. So after coming back, in the disciplinary committee, they were really much explained, and even they were told why their children were suspended. And they're saying like the boy was suspended because having sexual intercourse. So then the parents said, oh, wow, congratulations, really happy, thank God, thank God, thank God. Now, really asking, what are you thanking God for? I was not aware that maybe in future I will have like grandchildren, but really I thank God. So they did not know. So right now, because they're deaf children and having the intercourse, so most of the times in schools you see, if maybe a child becomes pregnant, the parents themselves, they also really need to know that they really need to teach. Something like, the teachers themselves are the ones who made them pregnant. We always tell them, it's not us, maybe it's the students themselves, maybe it's outside there. Others says, no, we really want to test, do like a DNA test, with the teacher. That's a very big challenge because people don't want to accept responsibilities. Parents, accepting like, my children know more about sex, but they really want to lie and say like, my child does not know. Even that, it creates ignorance. That is a very big challenge in the society, pretenders. We must be open. We must be very clear about everything. Things like sex, they are not like taboo or an evil thing. Things that we do, there are things that we do. So we really must be open to our children. When your children become really older or old enough to really do everything, you must teach them so that they can be able to make right decisions. So if you continue to hide and say, no, my child does not know, ignore that and continue, so you will destroy their life. So the same way, like my parents, all parents should be clear from the beginning. Talk to their children openly. Tell them the truth about sex, and also make a decision so that they can be able to be aware. Some of them, even whenever they go to school, they say like, no, man told me if you have sex, you should stand. If you stand when having sex, you'll not be able to get pregnant. So sometimes you must teach them how to do the safe days, to count the safe days. But some of them don't know. So like the sexual education really opens in their mind, and this should be included in the curriculum freely and openly to all.